Hog pasture was done in 1970 for the Earth, Air, Fire, and Water exhibition at the Boston Museum. I had tried to bring a pig in, but they refused. They wouldn't let us do it. We could only do the pasture. The museum asked influential people, particularly the Peabodys, for support since they grew pigs. They said, no pigs in our museum. It was okay for Dennis Oppenheim's watchdogs to be on site, but not our pigs. I argued that the pig was a random moving part in the piece and not an animal. They were, however, impervious to intelligent discourse. The odd thing is that the Mocha reenactment looks as good, if not better, than the original work in Boston. This pig, Wilma, is to make up for the mistake the Boston Museum made 42 years ago.
The pig was brought to the Mocha by Amazing Animals. Wilma is a 6-month-old New England pig, and she loves the exhibit because of the food that it offers her. She had been prepped for and looking forward to this natural meadow that will feed her. Maybe her first meadow? The significance of the piece is what you see. All of a sudden, people are looking at the environment in one way or another, and they're looking differently. In other words, it's bringing their attention in a way that is meaningful. They're enjoying it. Once the show is over, the pasture will go to a school so that the children there can take care of it and learn about animals. Another significance is that it was one of our first survival pieces that we had done. We thought if we are going to survive as a species, we're going to have to learn how to grow our own food and take care of ourselves at one point or another. So we started looking at what that means. How do we maintain and support our topsoil? For instance, it takes almost 1,000 years to grow 1 inch of topsoil. How precious is that? That was the meaning it had in the 70s for us.
And that meaning continues to today. In fact, the topsoil is in worse shape now than it was back then. When we did the work originally, it was winter in Boston, and lovely to come in from the winter and see a green pasture and be warm, and people gathered there with a great sense of relief. So, Wilma, as all can see, is now the ending of a story that began 40 years ago and then was quiet for 40 years and now has been alive for an afternoon.